everyone, I'm Jay.
I'm Sean.
And we watched a movie.
Yes, we did.
It's called Palmer and it's on Apple TV. New this weekend. Starring Justin Timberlake? What? Yeah. So that happened.
It did, yeah.
Yeah. So he plays a man that's fresh out of prison. Got out early after only 12 years. So
Good behavior.
It was something serious.
Yeah. And then he's not a bad guy.
What now?
Because of good behavior.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He learned his lesson.
We'll see. I'll be the judge of that.
Yes, he will.
So he goes home to Grandma's house because he's got nowhere else to be. You know, spent most of his adult life, I think, in prison. Now he's back to Grandma's house. Grandma Vivian, played by Juno Squibb. Wonderful. Love Juno Squibb.
She should just be grandma and everything, really.
She should be my grandma.
Well, okay.
Okay, I'll take it. So, of course she welcomes her violent felon of a grandson back into her home. She pretty much raised him as a kid.
He's a good guy.
Sean. I think you're just letting your love of NSYNC bleed into your perception of this character.
No, I felt all the way through that we were supposed to feel like he's really a good guy deep down.
Oh, deep down.
Oh, like way down.
Deep.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, he's at his grandma's house. His grandma who raised him because his mom split when he was a kid and his dad died. Tragic backstory, guys. Got hurt playing football and so he had to turn to a life of crime. Not even his fault, really.
It's not.
You see how it happened.
It was just the path that was in front of him.
Yeah, and he skipped merrily down it until he got caught. Now he's back home, gonna turn his life around. He's learned his lesson. Hard out there for a criminal, though.
It is.
Lots of people don't like to employ them or even befriend them.
Yep.
Except for your criminal friends.
Yeah, well, are they criminals? They didn't get caught.
Oh, nice distinction there, Sean. We're all feeling super comfortable with you right now. Anyways, Grandma the Saint doesn't just take in criminal grandsons. She also takes in the downtrodden children of drug addicts. Luckily for Shelly, who is her neighbor / drug addict, played by Juno Temple.
Not her drug addict.
No, Grandma doesn't bail. Grandma's a sweetie, okay? Don't say anything bad about Juno Squibb, guys.
Yeah.
Shelly just does not have her life together.
No.
And she's battling those demons. She's also got kind of an abusive boyfriend. And apparently a habit of disappearing. So her young son, Sam, has to go live with Grandma Viv. And this seems like a habit. This seems like a thing that has happened many times in his very young life.
Yep, it does. He's probably spent more time there than with his mom.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's not a bad deal because he gets to sleep in a bed.
Yep.
He eats 3 meals a day.
Yeah, Juno Squibb takes good care of him.
She does, yeah.
She's a good grandma.
She is a good grandma. Just one problem with Grandma Viv. She's old.
Not gonna be around forever.
No, she's not even gonna last most of this movie, to be honest. And when that happens, that leaves the 2 boys in the house alone. So we've got Palmer, fresh out of prison, and little Sam, played by Ryder Allen. I will say his name because he was such a great little guy.
Yep.
The thing about Sam is he's a little bit of an unusual boy, maybe less so in 2021, but he's a little boy who is, existing a little bit outside that old box of gender norms. You know, he likes a good accessory, he loves a princess. Who doesn't? Sam
Justin Timberlake
has good taste. Well, okay, Justin Timberlake or Palmer
yeah.
Can't relate, because Justin Timberlake, obviously...
Justin Timberlake could totally relate.
Yeah. Palmer, the hardened criminal, can't relate, and yet finds himself defending the kid from bullies, because they live in Bigottsville, USA.
Yeah.
I don't know where exactly.
Louisiana somewhere.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not just his classmates who pick on Sam.
No, it's
It's
the
adults too, which is so nice to know.
Yeah. But not Palmer, because deep down he's a good guy.
Right. True. So, well, I mean, he does try to give the kid back. I have to say, didn't get into the do-gooding right off the bat.
But he felt bad about it.
He eventually came to feel bad about it. He and the kid become friends. You know, he is a weird sort of father figure for this kid who has none.
Yeah.
He is weirdly the most stable person in his life right now.
He
the
is.
most supportive.
Yep.
So sadly, but true.
By default, but still.
Yes. Yeah, so who would have guessed that these two are exactly what each other needed? Nobody would have seen this coming. They're a total odd couple.
Certainly not the childcare system.
Right. They have a thing or two to say about that situation.
They do, like...
The very same system who keeps giving him this kid back to his mom.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's not go down that rabbit hole, because it's a giant rabbit. So, this is a feel-good movie about a reformed prisoner.
And his new best friend.
And his new best friend, Sam. That's right. Cutie patootie Sam, Ryder Allen, such a cute kid. And his teacher, his kind of supportive teacher, Maggie, played by Alisha Wainwright. So we're gonna see Palmer and Sam bond, just do some guy stuff together.
Yeah. Go to football games.
Sure.
Etc.
Sure. Eat root beer floats.
Oh, yeah, root beer floats. That is a good bonding activity.
Mm-hmm. Shop for princess outfits.
That too. It's Halloween.
So, tea parties.
Oh yeah, the tea parties.
Oh boy.
The play dates.
Yeah. Anyways, they're gonna have a good little time. It's a redemption story, okay? It has a formula. It needs to follow it. This guy used to be a bad guy, but he is so penitent. He totally owns all of his sins. And now he's not just repenting, but he's making up for them by just, taking in this little guy who I think, he sees himself in. Just another abandoned little boy
That's true.
who needs someone to take him under his wing. And so, yeah, that's what happens in Palmer. That's what happens in Palmer. Justin Timberlake, Juno Temple, June Squibb, Alisha Wainwright, whose name you may recognize from such things as the cheating scandal she had with Justin Timberlake while making this movie. Remember that? Back in December 2019, there were some awkward photos of them canoodling. A word only used by gossip magazines, because what is a canoodle and why do they doodle it? We don't know. It seemed basically to be some knee molestation and holding hands in New Orleans.
Not where this movie was filmed, as far as I could tell.
No, but you told us it was in Louisiana, so I think they went to the nearest good time and had themselves a little too good of a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard there's now a clause in somebody's prenup that says somebody gets $500,000 every time he cheats. So, hey, good for you, girl. Yes,
It's not actually that much.
Every time he cheats.
Oh, but is it every incident?
An incident.
Partner?
Well, why don't you call her up and ask, Sean? That's
Maybe
very
I will. I think everyone wants to know this stuff.
Everyone wants to know how many millions of dollars do you have just by sitting at home.
Yeah.
Well, listen, they made up to the tune of a lockdown baby, so,
So everything's fixed.
things are okay in the house of Timberlake. Son Silas now has a brother called Phineas, and I don't know if we're allowed to take naming rights away from adults, but we should. We should get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Phineas would have been better off being named Canoodling. Honestly. Better nicknames anyways.
Noodle?
You wish your nickname was Noodle. I bet your nickname was Noodle at some point.
Not that I remember.
Oh,
maybe just
not to your
behind my back,
face. Yeah, okay. Anyways, he did issue a statement saying he'd had a strong lapse in judgment, which is a nice euphemism.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It can apply to a lot of things.
Sure. Yes. So then they had to go back and continue making this movie together. I believe Miss Jessica Biel flew out to Louisiana at that point to keep a very razor sharp eye on, just how much of the canoodle was going on.
Keep your eye out. Maybe she's in some of the backgrounds of these movies.
Yeah, she's the really angry looking woman in every scene. Even June Squibb was probably like, do not touch his knee. So this is directed by Fisher Stevens. Remember him?
I do remember him.
Yeah. So he's been directing for quite some time now, although lots of documentaries in his catalog.
Okay. Yeah, since he couldn't be cast as the weird, awkward guy and stuff anymore, I guess.
I think technically he could. I don't think he got less awkward.
No, probably not.
I think there's just a lot more awkward people in the world now.
Could be.
So,
Yeah. So he's moved on.
He's moved on. He's directing. He directed Before the Flood, which we saw at a film festival. That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio. So, not a bad line of work to get into. Now he's gone to he's hitting all of the heartthrobs. He thinks maybe he can get cool by osmosis or something.
Yeah, just
do you think it's working?
Kirk Cameron. That's my advice to you, Fisher Stevens.
That should be your advice to everyone. That is a good piece of advice generally. I don't think most people need it.
No, it's pretty self-evident at this point.
Yeah, and Leonardo DiCaprio and Justin Timberlake, and I am not an apologist of either one of them, but if they could form a gang just to come looking for you for even putting Kirk Cameron in that threesome, what the heck, Don?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
But putting that out there, just fair warning, everybody.
Yep.
Keep away from that guy.
Yep.
All right, so that was Palmer.
That's Palmer.
You may have forgotten what this movie even was, this tangent.
That's okay.
But that was
It's
Palmer.
pretty forgettable, to be honest.
It's not, you know what? It's treading ground that we have walked to death, for sure. But it's charming. It almost justifies itself.
I do like
yeah.
Timberlake and the kid.
Okay.
They're a good
And that's
couple.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
right. It's got that
do you
going
want
for it.
him being cute with a kid for 2 hours?
Maybe.
Maybe you do.
You can do worse.
You can do worse. And it's a new movie on Apple TV, so what have you got to lose?
Nothing.
It's easy to check it out. Turn it off if you're, over the canoodle. I don't know. Like, too soon? I'm not sure. Hard to say. It's weird seeing him. He's up there, I'm sure. Do you think Jessica Biel is watching this movie this weekend?
No.
Or are they skipping it?
I think they're skipping it.
They're pretending this movie never
I
happened.
think they've unsubscribed from Apple TV.
Well, fair enough. I'm not going to tell her how to live her life. She's got more $500,000 than I do. Not going to step in there at all, eh?
What? It's probably true. I don't know.
Okay, good job. I'm just saying, do you owe me any money?
No, I owe you nothing.
Okay, we'll see. Let's see if the pictures hit the gossip mags tomorrow.
Oh boy, yeah.
Whose knee have you been touching? I hate it when you touch my knee.
I
You
know.
do pull a lot of knee moves.
I do
Come to
touch
think
your
of it,
knee, though.
you are a canoodler.
Your knee's been hurting.
I'm not talking about that, and you know it. Knees are not a thing for me, okay?
Yeah, it's true.
Understood?
Understood.
Not a thing. But Palmer could be. It's a thing on Apple TV, so you might want to check it out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.